the West Yorkshire village of Haworth, situated in the rolling Pennine Hills, just 12 miles from the city of Bradford. It attracts visitors from around the world because of its connection with the Bronte sisters, who lived here in the early to mid-1800s. With its cobbled main street and set amidst the surrounding moorland, the majority of visitors come to experience the sights and sounds that inspired the literary works such as Wuthering Heights and Jane Eyre. Apart from one weekend in May, that is, when they come for a rather different reason. Here we are at Haworth's 1940s weekend. This is just one of a number of 1940s weekends that are held all over the country, and Haworth is one of the biggest. Tens of thousands of visitors, many in authentic wartime costumes, come to experience what can only be described as a phenomenon because of its ever-increasing popularity. What we're aiming to show here is how the local community have joined together to make this event happen, but also a 1940s subculture of a group of people that travel around the country going on this type of event throughout the whole year. We're also trying to establish just exactly what motivates people to come on this kind of a weekend. Is it maybe that they want to get away from their daily stresses and their normal day jobs? Or maybe they want to celebrate the 1940s and the community spirit that was around during the wartime? There could be many reasons. Let's try and find out some of them. Let's see. How many years have you been coming here?
Quite a lot. Quite a lot. There's about, 5 or 6 years now we've been coming. There's just not enough of them. We can live like this all the time. It's fabulous.
We go on weekends, probably 8 to 10 times a year.
Wow.
Different venues all over the country.
And is Haworth one that you've been to often?
We come to Haworth every year. We've been coming for the last 8 years. 8 years.
Yeah, I've been coming for about 7 years, yeah. We go to them all over the country, actually.
Right, and good. And how does Haworth compare to lots of the other?
It's a nice, friendly event. It's a different. We go to a lot on the railways, but this is more compact with the street, and you meet a lot of people from, what you've seen at other events. So we really enjoy it.
Yeah, we travel down. We've been down to Sussex. We've done Bletchley Park.
Right up to Scotland.
Up to Scotland.
And what do you think of the Haworth for 1940s weekend?
It's quite a good
It's one of the best. It's one of the best.
I go all over the country doing 40s weekends, and I'm going down to Shirley in Norfolk in September, so I go all over.
This is the first where I've been at the other side of the camera. I usually come along with my camera and take pictures of everybody else, but I'm trying to keep a smile throughout the day.
We've been reenacting for 16 years now.
16 years, wow, you must have an array of costumes.
No, we've got two civilian suits, and we just started doing the French Resistance.
It looks great. Tell me a little bit about it. Are they authentic?
The jackets are genuine 1940s French fireman's jackets. The trousers are modern trousers, but they look like the French trousers. The machine guns are replicas, and so are the pistols.
Yeah, I'll try it. I might have a little something you can have. It's a bit
As you will see over the course of the weekend, the people that we'll meet have gone to enormous extents to try and make their costume completely authentic. I've thrown something together here, but these people spend all year looking for the right accessories, the right hat, the right set of pearls, the gloves, the shoes, the handbags, everything that makes their look completely authentic from the 1940s. Well, hello, don't you look fantastic?
Thank you.
Are you, do you come every year to Haworth?
Oh, definitely, yeah. We get dressed up something different every time. We've got tons of stuff, and we always dress dogs up to match.
Most of these clothes are what we've collected for this weekend, yeah. He normally wears a uniform.
Yeah, American general uniform at night time. This is like the day wear. So.
Right. Costumes look very authentic, so tell me a bit about them.
Well, the work in progress. This one is it's the United States Air Force. It's an A2 flying jacket, rarity. The rest of the code is just an ordinary airborne.
Okay.
But yeah, work in progress.
And just bioengineers?
We have a number of them actually. I also have an RAF one. so it depends how we feel.
Well, they have been made. These have been made, as you say,
original patterns.
Original patterns.
From 1940s.
These are World War, around about 1943. Uniforms did alter by that time, but both our uniforms are about mid World War II.
It's wonderful.
And I'm an officer. Excellent.
And I have to salute my wife because I'm a senior NCO.
So have you been collecting costumes and tell me
Roughly 12 years, yeah.
Tell me what you have.
We've got an absolute house full. Absolutely.
I've got an original. I started off. The first thing that I actually bought was an original 1930s nurse's uniform.
And it just took off from there. Then I saw in a book, it was just a suit, like the British Army dress, but it's a blue suit, and it's called the Army Hospital Blues. And that's a suit where you give them when you came out of hospital, what you recovered in. And it's pretty rare actually, but I've got 2 lots, so I'm very, very lucky.
Have you been surprised at the amount of people that you've met that do seem to do this all the time?
Yeah. And how
Really?
and what depths they actually go to reenact and get everything precise. They want to not only just look the part, but get it as authentic as possible.
And like in Haworth here, the shops, they're lovely.
Yeah.
The vintage clothes and there's not many shops where we come from that sell vintage clothes, and these shops it's like heaven.
These weekends are well known amongst 40s aficionados as a good place to buy authentic outfits. Pam Haworth is a local trader who has developed her own love of the 1940s into a successful business. So Pam, you run this local vintage shop here.
I do, yes. Ooh la la.
And tell me a bit about the whole 40s weekend and what it means to you as a business running the weekend.
Well, it's just a fantastic weekend, and from a business point of view, it's one of the most important weekends of the year for us because we're so busy.
Yes, I can see the shop's packed. I see lots of the ladies wearing the most beautiful outfits. I mean, the 40s look. Tell me about the 40s look.
It's a really glamorous look, you know. It's from a time when ladies dressed like ladies and they just looked fantastic. You know, the knitting little waists on the suits and the fancy little hats and everything. It's a really nice time.
And the accessories are fabulous, aren't they?
They are, yes. Yeah, gloves, seam stockings, your nice little handbags and everything, yeah.
You might think that the appeal of yesterday's fashions is something for an older generation, but more and more younger people are getting into the 40s spirit. And so what inspired you to come along to this weekend in particular?
We just love all old. It was the most glamorous era, really, wasn't it? Yeah, all the time. We specialise in that type of makeup and hair, so we always come. We've been like every year, so.
And if the fashions were now as they were then, do you sort of almost wish you were back in that era?
Well, they're still more or less the same. If you go to some shops like Dorothy Perkins, you still see a lot of the spotty dresses, and it's more 50s, borderline 40s type of. But every fashion, it always comes back to like the 40s, more or less. It's glamorous.
And a lot of girls are moderning it up as well now with like the bright hair and also with the vintage, and it looks really cool as well. It just goes. Yeah. It's really good.
I used to have dresses that I used to get from jumble sales or from Tesco's, but they're not original enough now. We have to have original clothing now.
You get
so
right
it's an
into
expensive hobby, but it's worth it. We love it.
Yeah.
And so if the clothing these days was like the 40s, you'd enjoy that?
Yeah. I've got more 40s clothing than I have ordinary clothing. If I'm going somewhere that's not a 40s event, I struggle what to wear because I haven't got very many normal, what I call ordinary clothes.
Do you have a lot of the accessories, the hats and the gloves?
I've got
tons,
I don't know how many hats I've got loads. I bought one last week. I didn't really need it, but I liked it. I've got the gloves. I always wear stockings, the seam stockings. You always wear those. You've got to be authentic.
Sweetheart brooches. If I were saying my Remy, and my wife were a civilian, got a proper sweetheart brooch of the Remy, what she'd wear to say my husband's in Remy, fighting and serving in Europe somewhere.
And I have to ask, what do you think of the ladies' fashions?
Oh, they're beautiful. They're actually fabulous. That's why we do it, really.
It's the silk stockings that catch the men.
In addition to the shops, which are open year-round, the old Bronte schoolroom is turned into a 1940s boutique for the weekend, complete with beauty parlour. Just having the right clothing isn't enough. Hairstyles and makeup from the era are essential finishing touches to complete the authentic look. So what do you think of the Haworth 40's weekend?
Oh, fantastic.
Fantastic, it's
loving
brilliant.
it.
Would you come every year? Would you come again?
We would definitely come again.
If I was going to come back, I wouldn't have this cobbled together uniform. I've got cavalry officers' breeches and obviously service dress, but I got a medical corps hat with a gun, which apparently doesn't fit, which is an insult. All these real enthusiasts are giving us a hard time about not being authentic enough.
They've come up and told you what you're wearing, have they?
So next year, I'm going to get the real stuff.
Absolutely. The hair is fantastic. Did you enjoy having that done?
Yeah, it was brilliant. Yeah.
She was great.
She was, yeah.
So turn around, let's have a look. It's fantastic, lovely.
Sir, that's my baby, no, sir. I don't mean maybe, yes, sir. That's my baby. Yes, man, we decided, no, man, we will find it, yes, now you're invited. Fly away, fly away. When we see that preacher, we'll say, with feeling, yes, sir, that's my baby, no, sir. I don't mean maybe, yes, sir, that's my baby, no.
I like shaking in the rackers every so often. Well, it's good for you.
When he plays reveille, he's the boogie woogie bugle by company B. A toot, a toot, a tootly out, a tootly boozy dates at the bar.
Welcome back to Haworth 1940's weekend, where we are trying to discover just why so many people put so much effort into recreating Britain's wartime years.
Boogie woogie bugle by company B. He was the boogie woogie bugle boy, company B.
In addition to people in costume and displays of vintage cars, this weekend is interspersed with all manner of entertainments to help engender the 40s feeling. Some people out there that I suppose would look at it differently and think, oh, they must be mad to go dressing up. And what would you say to that?
Don't knock it until you've tried it. That's got to be the saying. Because obviously, like I say, we just went there once, and like I was saying before, you know, with regards like the music for me, it's just relaxing. It's chilled out, you know, and as soon as the big band just kicks in, it makes more of a night out, or more of the atmosphere.
So Jack, you obviously enjoy doing this kind of event, and you've organised this dance, I believe.
Yes, I've organised it, and the evening dances as well, during the day.
And do people come from far and wide? What sort of feedback do you get from people?
Yeah, there's people come from all over England. There's some people I know come up from Surrey and Norfolk and London, all over the country to come to this big event. It's got very popular over the years.
And do you find that you have to coax people onto the floor, or do they just get up without you even asking?
No, we play the good music, and everybody just enjoys it so much they get up. And everybody loves to dance.
And of course, No 40s weekend would be complete without the inspirational speeches of Sir Winston Churchill.
Upon this battle depends the survival of Christian civilization. Upon it depends our way of life, our institution, and our empire. Very soon now, the all-might and fury of the German war machine will be turned on us. Hitler knows he has to break us in this island or lose the war. If we can stand up to him, the whole of Europe will be free. We can all move forward in a broad, sunlit upland.
Good morning, Mr. Churchill. That was a fantastic speech. Where have you come from then today?
Well, obviously Downing Street, but before then I come from the West Midlands, Warsaw in the West Midlands.
Excellent. And how many of these do you do a year?
Well, quite a few. Not so many now, like there's a price of petrol going to Cornwall and Scotland. It costs a lot of money now. But,
so you go a fair
I'm the country's leading Winston Churchill impersonator.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
And what do you get out of these events? Do you enjoy them?
Well, I mean, when I first started off 17 years ago, I used to learn a speech each year, so the repertoire was getting so there's about 10 speeches really now. And, most of them in the early part of the war, 1940, when he was rallying the country, which he did, which I did, I should say.
And did this used to be a full-time job at one point then?
No, I was bricklayer.
Bricklayer, fantastic.
Well, so was Churchill, the real Churchill.
Haworth is also well known for the Worth Valley Railway, which helps to add a further touch of nostalgia to the weekend. It also provides the means of arrival for a group of evacuees.
Right, follow over here and stand in front of the bus, please. Come on, Andy, I suppose we've got to get a picture of you. No. Should I look happy or miserable?
Turn around and work at the school.
As well as an opportunity to dress up, the whole weekend is filled with reenactments, vintage vehicles and music from the 1940s. Evening dances also help to fully capture the feeling of being back in wartime Britain.
My baby just cares for me. My baby don't care for those cars and races. My baby don't care for those hot chocolate.
And many of the people in costume also like to get involved in making the event unusual and informative for the thousands of regular visitors. What's your favourite part of the weekend?
Arresting people. How are you fixed?
And I have to ask, what's your day job?
Day job? Sales manager.
Ah, right. So it's completely different then.
It's an outlet from work, yeah. Get
So
rid of attention.
What makes you choose the police outfit then?
Well, I have a lot of fun with it, taking down ladies' particulars. I could take yours down.
Excellent. You even have the pad and pen to go with it.
I've got everything here, madam. Truncheon, about the size of your microphone. So if you've got any trouble, give me a shout.
We're all on wartime prices, and it's a very original Austin 7 van, which was my parents' van in the 30s. So as I say, it's all authentic.
So that looks like a serious instrument there. Tell us a bit about that.
Yeah, it's actually a Russian PPS submachine gun. Right, in the field, obviously, the Free French, you'd fight with anything you could get your hands on. This is a British Sten submachine gun. And you basically pick them up. If you found them that worked, you'd use them. German stick grenade and everything. I've got an actual Beretta in there off an Italian officer who was dead, picked it up. I'm having that. I'll fight with that. Fight with anything. So you just got anything you could hold of and cause as much mayhem and destruction as you could in Free French.
And with so many people in costume, the event is a photographer's dream.
Have
you met a lot of people while you've been here?
Yeah, lots of people. Yeah, so they're always, even the people that aren't dressed up or whatever, they come and take us photographs and things like that. So that's nice as well.
If we had a penny for every photograph, we'd be able to buy the whole of Haworth.
I mean, it's a fabulous hobby, and one thing I like about it, it doesn't matter which era you travel in, everybody's so friendly. The visitors to the shows, all the reenactors are actually marvellous people to be with. I can't say any more than that, really.
Seems to be a really good community spirit.
A very good community spirit. It reminds me of when I was a child, when you could go out and play without any hassle.
Who's the mom and daddy with the beautiful eyes? What a pair of lips that like to try to decide. I'll just tell you, baby, won't you swing with me?
With so much in the way of entertainment, the feel-good factor and the photographic opportunities, it's easy to see what makes an event like this so appealing to visitors. But what about the local people? Join us after the break to find out how the residents and the traders of Haworth feel about recreating the spirit of the 1940s.
So I said politely, darling, may I intrude? Don't keep my children waiting when I live the mood.
Here we are, back in wartime Britain, as tens of thousands of visitors descend on this Yorkshire village of Haworth to try and recapture the spirit of the 1940s. But what do the local residents and business people think of the event? What's it like actually running a business on Main Street and living on Main Street while the 40s is going on? Is it a bit like a theme park?
I absolutely love it. I absolutely love it. It's a case of you've got business, you've got people that come because they want to be here, they're dressed up, they enjoy it, they come in, you get the odd that are come in that are nothing to do with the 1940s that don't understand it, but the 1940s circuit is just people's like-minded people together, and they're there for the whole reason that the 1940s is on, and I love it.
It's manic, it is, but the people are just fantastic because they come and they're all happy, they all get dressed up, and you know the atmosphere is just brilliant.
So what do you think of 1940s weekend in Haworth?
I think it's great, it's excellent. I mean, I've never seen so many people around here. I was born in Haworth and my great-granddad actually built my house, so I've seen it year in, year out, and it's grown to an incredible amount of numbers.
Do you find that it's a little bit like living in a theme park sometimes?
Well, yeah, thank God it's not like this every weekend. But yeah, I mean, we do look forward to the weekend coming because, you know, you get your clothes. I mean, I'm not dressed up, but I mean, you just take one look around and everybody really makes a big effort for it. I've sort of toned down a little bit. I just sort of go out and try to enjoy the day, really, and just engage with the people. It's quite nice.
It brings back, you know, what the 1940s weekend was originally about anyway, and trying to bring that camaraderie back. And it's brilliant, you know. I just love the atmosphere in general, the whole kit and caboodle of it all. It's just brilliant.
What do you think of the weekend as a whole for the community?
It's great. I think the more and more people are coming and seeing how popular it is, which brings more people in the village, good for local business, good for local community. Long may it continue.
Excellent. And I have to ask you, who gave you the kiss?
A sailor.
Oh, my goodness.
It's wonderful. It's part of the community spirit. People from all over the country, all over England, come to Haworth this weekend. As you can see, everybody's dressed up, including our gorgeous Kate here, who always does her best and always looks fantastic, like yourself.
And do you enjoy the 40s weekend yourself?
Oh, indeed, yes. It's wonderful to see all these people coming here and all the hardware and software that they bring. It's amazing.
What's your favourite part of it?
I think the people in costume going up and down Main Street, I suppose.
Do you ever get dressed up for the weekend?
I do. I did last year. I was doing some photography for a company just to promote Haworth as the area. But I didn't really have any overalls that would fit in with the 1940s, as you can see. I've told people I spilt a bit of paint on them, that's why they're orange.
Do you think it's good for business all around the street?
Not just for Haworth itself. I think that extends through to Keighley, even through, I know that people staying in Skipton because they can't get into bed and breakfast in Haworth and things.
Do you find that it's good for the community?
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, there's, you know, a lot of the traders benefit from this just by right of the footfall and the trade. But the residents and, you know, as a community, you know, I think we all gear up and we join together. There's not too many residents on the street, so and we all know who's who, if you like. So you know, through the crowd, you have a wink or two, and yeah, it is quite nice.
And do you think that people that come on the 40s weekend will then hopefully come the rest of the year? Does it benefit the communities?
Well, I think so. There's a lot of people that actually do come, you know, today. That come, you know, they're set out to come to Haworth. They don't realise the 1940s on and think, wow. Now, some of my guests this time came last year and they've stayed this year. So it has a wonderful knock-on effect, and hopefully it's good publicity for everybody.
For some time it looked like this year's festivities were not going to happen. In previous years this whole event had been organised by just a few people. But as you can see, the event's grown so big that became almost impossible. And now a small committee of local people, local businesses have all got together to try and keep this spirit of the 1940s alive. Chris Upton, the local Baptist minister and also the chairman of the committee that's put all this together this year. How's it all been? How much work has this been, Chris?
Well, it's been a hatful of work, but it's been spread quite thinly with so many people volunteering to take a part. It's been, I've been choked quite often just by the amount of goodwill and donations and voluntary stuff that's been done. But the spirit on the street's been great, and I do think a large part of that is the reflection is for Help for Heroes, that we're not taking a cut. All the merchandise has been wonderfully produced and will be, you know, be a treasure for many years to come. So it's hard work. Greatly hard work. Ask me in 48 hours and I'll have slept for 24 of those, but it's been good.
So Nikki, you've been one of the main organisers of this. Just how much hard work has this been?
Well, actually, it's been really, really enjoyable and not really hard work because I've had so much support. It's been fantastic. The support that we've had has been really overwhelming.
What's been your biggest challenges organising something of this scale?
Well, I think the time scale, because we only took on 3 months ago the event because it was cancelled, so it's actually been the time element to get this together, but we've pulled it off and it's been because of the community that we've done this.
I understand it had been hoped that maybe Bradford Council would be able to take this over at one point, and unfortunately that hasn't happened. Do you think that's something that would have helped?
Well, I have to say that was my initial opinion over the last few years, thinking the event's just outgrown the village and we need some professionals in to do it and all the rest of it. But having done it this year with local people using grace and favours rather than pound notes, no, I think it should stay within the remit of the village. Because if nothing else, the biggest thing I've learned from this weekend is the names and faces of some fantastic people, and the networks that I've created or that I've been involved in have just been wonderful. So it only takes hard work to get to know people. But once you've got to know them, it's friendships for life. So I think the Help for Heroes will get many thousands of pounds, but actually the community in Haworth will have firmed up some tenuous friendships into real lifelong partnerships, I think. So yes, Bradford Council or an event management company might be able to run a better event, but actually if the way of the 21st century is about localism and looking after your own community and getting to know your neighbours rather than just standing in isolation. I think this event has helped. It's certainly helped me, and I think quite a few people.
There seems to be little doubt that 1940s weekends are a hit with both the visitors and the local residents. But what is it that really motivates people to try and recreate what was actually a very difficult period in British history?
I think it's a hobby. I think it's escapism, really. I think that's what it comes down to. They escape from their normal everyday life. And I mean, really, the 1940s that we celebrate on this weekend is not how it was in the 1940s. It's the good part of the 1940s. When I talk to my mum about it, she gets really hot under the collar that we are celebrating the 1940s when it was so difficult and so hard to live in those times. But when you see them strutting around, yeah, sometimes I question their sanity. Do question it, but other times it makes the tills ching and changes the atmosphere, completely changes the atmosphere when we have the event on.
So what would it have been like to live in the 40s? Do you think that would have been a good thing or not?
It'd have been hard, a lot harder than what it is nowadays. But like we were saying before, the camaraderie and whatever, and pulling together because of the war, people were more inclined to do it then than what they are now.
So what motivates you to come on these weekends?
The atmosphere and camaraderie and the amount of people that you make friends with each year.
It's harking back to the old camaraderie that there used to be in the 40s. Seems to be a bit lacking nowadays.
Yeah, lacking respect and that. I say we get charity out of it and we go for a pint of chill and all that.
I think it's the traditional aspect of Haworth. There's still the cobbled road, the moors, the fact that this was a flight path for all the planes during the war, and like I say, just the history generally. It fits in with the 1940s.
It's our way of paying respects to the men and women that gave us our freedom.
And not only that, my brother was in the army. He served in Borneo for 7 years. And it's my way of saying thank you to him for what he did through the Borneo campaign.
Also, like the wife with the pram, and because it's a 1950 pram and that, the senior citizens and middle-aged people who's had these sort of prams, that brought their children up in prams, and they're so impressed when they see pram, they always say, "Oh, I used to have one of those prams." Aww. And we get the pleasure from them enjoying looking at, shall we say, the past.
Yes.
Absolutely love keeping the history going, and you meet such nice people, you meet lovely friends, and it's absolutely amazing.
It's expensive, obviously.
It's fantastic. It's a living hobby because you can get into it and do it, you know what I mean?
People are always interested, you know what I mean? They want to know a bit more about Old Yard and
Brings back good memories for some of those that served as well.
Yeah.
And the people that come to this, do you see them year in, year out?
Oh yes, oh yes.
And we're all in contact with each other all the year round.
One of the things about it, if you're not seeing 1 year, and when they do see you, they say, "We wonder what happened to you last year." If you've got an illness, there's always someone to come and visit you. It's a wonderful atmosphere.
So what's your favourite part of this weekend?
I think it's the people. It's the people.
I've made a lot of friends over the years that come every year. I'm just going to meet some now.
The line of work that we're in, it is very stressful. Yeah, not so much physical, but mentally.
So I guess this is something more of a release.
Yeah.
For that.
And when I say there's nothing better, nothing more of a stress reliever than putting some lovely clothes on, like feeling relaxed, and even that big band strike up. And then, like I say, you're away somewhere else then. Even if it's only for the evening or just for the weekend, you're somewhere else. You're away from all the stresses and strains of work and day-to-day living, and maybe just somewhere else.
I got this last September, and I just wanted to get a bit more involved. Just part of the fun, really.
bit of from the stress of a week's work to come out and do something like this is a bit different.
The friends you make here are like the friends you have in the army. They're the friends, they are friends. They're not just somebody that you know, that they're there when you need them.
It's all part of the weekend. You don't even think, forget back home. We're in the 40s, and it's great. It's just wonderful. It's a fantastic time.
It's a hobby, but it's a nice hobby. It's a lovely hobby. You wouldn't want to be relaxed and chilled out like, at the end of a stressful week.
Bluebirds over white cliffs of Dover. Tomorrow, just you wait and see. Wow.
Thank you so much. Well done. Thank you.
That's all right.
Don't sit under the apple tree with anyone else but me. Anyone else but me. Anyone else but me. No, no, no. Don't sit under the apple tree with anyone else but me. Till I come marching home.
If you're doing this every weekend, what do you do the rest of the week?
Sleep.